Alright, let's recap. My top 12 most overrated movies of the 2000s. Number 12, Castaway. Number 11, War of the Worlds. 10.5, Paul Blart Mall Cop. Number 10, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Number 9, Fahrenheit 9/11 with an honorable mention of The Passion. 8.5, all Penguin movies. Number 8, Cars. Number 7, Superbad. 6.5, Little Miss Sunshine. Number 6, High School Musical. Number 5, Twilight Saga, New Moon. Number 4, Brokeback Mountain. Number 3, Spider-Man 3 and Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Number 2, AI. 1.5, Blair Witch Project. And the number 1 most overrated movie of the 2000s, at least for me in my opinion, is... I'm going to tell you a story first. In 2004, I was driving down this road, driving down whatever, I don't know if I was on delivery or whatever, and I look out the window, and I see this one of the strangest things I've seen. I look out the window, and I see people walking down this street, and they're all wearing the exact same t-shirt. I kid you not. They're all wearing the exact same shirt. It was like eerie. It's like, what's happened to people? Why is everybody wearing the exact same shirt? So I rolled my window down. It was an old Jeep at the time. So I rolled my window down, and I take a look at the chute, and it says, vote for somebody. Oh, but 2004, it was an election year. So, oh, that makes sense. It says, vote. I can barely see it written. It's like in tiny text. So it says, vote for Pedro. So, like an idiot, I say, hey, who is Pedro? And what is he running for? And where's he stand on the issues? It's like, oh, it's for Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Bonaparte? He's back from the dead? No, dude, it's Napoleon Dynamite. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So who is Pedro? What's he running for? What office is he running for? He's running for class president in Napoleon Dynamite. So you guys are going through all this much trouble for a school class president? No, dude, there's a movie. Oh, it's a movie. In 2004, 2005, everybody, at least in my town, wouldn't shut the hell up about this movie. Yep. My number 1 pick for the most overrated movie of the 2000s is Napoleon Dynamite. Look, I know what you're thinking. You didn't know that movie? Why? What's wrong? You're an otaku. I know, I'm an otaku. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I mean, hello, I got Inuyasha posters, I got Haruhi, I'm into anime, I'm into Star Wars, and I was like, but you're a nerd! You're a geek! You're supposed to like Napoleon Dynamite! Newsflash, why do you think I'm into Star Wars and anime? Because they're cool. We're not cool. Just because I am a nerd doesn't mean I want to watch movies about us, okay? We nerds live boring lives, okay? There's nothing interesting about us. That's why we like watching Lord of the Rings, because it's interesting, it's fantasy, it's whatever. I don't want the camera turned around towards us nerds. Ah! Okay, look. Let's get that straight. I didn't watch Napoleon Dynamite, or at least most of it, till 2005. And my parents saw this movie before I did. And you know what my parents told me about Napoleon Dynamite? My parents walked up to me and told me, Aaron, we love Napoleon Dynamite because that movie reminded us of you. Mom, Dad, this is what you think of me? This is what you think of me? This is what you think of me? Okay, so for the past 5 years, everybody's been going on and on and on and on and on about Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon Dynamite, And everybody's asking me the same question over and over again. What'd you think of Napoleon Dynamite? What'd you think of Napoleon Dynamite? What'd you think of Napoleon Dynamite? What'd you think of it? 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 You wanna know what I thought of it? You wanna know what I thought of it? You wanna know what I thought of it? It was okay! It was okay! It was okay! It wasn't all that in a bag of chips! It wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life! It was okay! It wasn't beyond terrible, but it wasn't terrific either! Everybody, calm down! Oh, I have never, in my life, ever been more peer pressured to watch one single solitary movie! Look, had I watched Napoleon Dynamite by myself, without anybody telling me about it, maybe I would have liked it. But because I swear the entire city I lived in turned against me whenever I said, I'm not kidding you, in 2004. Everyone's like, have you seen Napoleon Dynamite yet? It's like, no, you're a freak. I was like, dude, have you seen Napoleon Dynamite yet? No. Why? And then when I finally see it, it's like, okay. I was like, it was, people were like this, you gotta see Napoleon Dynamite! You have to see Napoleon Dynamite! If you don't see Napoleon Dynamite, you gotta see it! So you know what I thought about Napoleon Dynamite? It was okay, at best. Alright, look. I will say this to the creators of Napoleon Dynamite. Congratulations on all your success. Which is, let's say this about Napoleon Dynamite. I will say this. It is a success. They made a very low-budget movie, and they made a lot of money off it. This movie only cost $400,000 to make. It made $40 million at the box office. Let me repeat that. $400,000 and they got $40 million back. That means for every dollar they spent invested paying for this movie, they got $100 back. They put in $1 for this movie, they got $100 back. That's huge. That is a huge success. The creator, I got nothing. Oh my gosh. Alright, it's just that people have told me that they thought Napoleon Dynamite was, quote, the funniest movie they'd ever seen in their entire lives. Wow, you must live really boring lives to think that this is the funniest movie you've ever seen in your life. Look, when I was a kid, I'm not going to lie, I liked a lot of Jim Carrey movies that I thought were the funniest things I saw in my life at the time. But no, this is not the funniest movie. Did I laugh? I maybe chuckled a couple of times. I'll admit the slap scene was kind of funny. I'll admit Napoleon crashing his bike into something was kind of funny. But other than that, there was a lot of moments in this movie that I thought were stupid but came off as jokes. There was a lot of stuff in the movie where I think people told me that they were laughing at that I don't think was supposed to be the punchline, but people were laughing. I have never experienced, I'm not even kidding. I was bullied into seeing this movie. By the way, I know you say, oh, you just didn't like this movie because you don't like nerds. Let me tell you something. When I was in 8th grade, when I was in the middle school, no, 8th grade, 6th grade. When I was in the 6th and 7th grade, I had school bullies. The worst thing that ever happened to me, I was tossed into a dumpster by bullies, okay? I've been the victim of school bullies. I want you to know this. Napoleon's so nerdy and dorky, I feel like giving this guy a wedgie. That's how I feel. So, Pedro offers you his protection. There's limits on the nerd scale, fellas. There's limits. Okay?
Worst day of my life? What do you think?
And that's another thing about this movie. Everybody in this movie is effing ugly. I'm glad that Hollywood's finally seen some beauty in average, everyday people. That's the reason why I like Lost a lot. Yeah, I'm going to mention Lost again. But in Lost, with the exception of Jack, Kate, and Sawyer, everybody else looked like average, normal people, even different races and different ethnicities, and had their own inner beauty. And you had Hurley, who was overweight and fat and whatnot. So I was impressed. That's the other thing I'm going to notice about Lost. Hey, not all of them look like supermodels. But there's a limit. I know in the 90s you had to be like super hot to be in Hollywood movies and whatnot. And there's like, where's the realism and whatnot? Where's the average looking people? So in the 2000s I've noticed they get more average looking people in films, but there's a limit on the average. I swear everyone in this movie is effing ugly. Like Napoleon's brother, I couldn't stand looking at him. I'm chatting with babes on the internet. Are you sure you're not chatting with 13-year-old girls, buddy? Because you look like the type of guy who's going to get caught on Dateline. Look, this movie was ruined by you people. That's the only reason why I didn't like Napoleon Dynamite is because you people overhyped it. It was so effing overhyped that maybe I would have loved it had I discovered it. Had I seen it before everybody else, then maybe I'd be the one. But I wouldn't have overhyped it to the left. What I'm saying is this: you're putting Napoleon Dynamite up to Mount Everest status when it should be actually more down here. You know what I'm saying? As an independent, as an indie film, it's pretty good for the way it was made. For a low budget film, based on what they had. I mean, they really only filmed this film in 2 places, Preston, Idaho, and somewhere in Utah. So, I mean, based on where they had to film, they put it together fairly nicely. I think they could have used a lot more plot, and the punchline should have been more solid. But, you know, as a film, as it stands, it's successful. And everyone's asking me why. You know, maybe the real reason why I don't like Napoleon Dynamite, maybe the real reason is jealousy. Yeah, you heard me, jealousy. Maybe I'm jealous because I did not graduate college, which was my fault. I passed my high school video tech classes, but I didn't pass all my college video tech classes. And some people who were in my college video tech classes went on to go make indie films. And I heard rumor that one of my classmates from one of my early college classes went on to go help make Napoleon Dynamite. So maybe the real reason I hate Napoleon Dynamite is maybe I'm realizing I could have been a part of this film. I mean, not that I care. I mean, well, what part would I have? I don't really, not so much as parts, but maybe I'm just jealous because by this time I thought I'd be a famous movie director by now, and I'm not. It's my fault. Because I gave up on my filmmaking twice this past decade, both times out of depression and out of laziness and procrastination. And I really wish I had discovered YouTube a year earlier. I'd have a lot more subscribers. I don't know, maybe the real reason is that, I don't know. Again, as an indie film, as somebody who took video tech classes and had to watch, I mean, when I was in college, I was forced to watch indie films and, you know, third party. And me, personally, I prefer the... You know, I prefer the grand stuff. I prefer, when I go to the movies, I prefer popcorn movies like 300 and or The Rings and Batman. I don't want to go to a movie to watch a documentary or a movie about average everyday life. I'll watch that on FX or something like that or wherever. But again, this movie, you the people ruin it. Oh, it gets all 3, especially word of mouth. The word of mouth charts for Napoleon Dynamite was friggin' off the scale. Just leave me alone, okay? I finally saw stupid Napoleon Dynamite. It was okay. I maybe chuckled a couple of times, but I wasn't on the floor laughing my ass off. I did not think this was the funniest movie of all time, which several people have told me they thought it was. This is not the greatest indie film of all time either. Ugh. Well, thanks for bearing with. I mean, come on, guys. It's just. I mean. Gosh. Jeez.
Gosh.
All right, that's my list of the top 12, really probably 20, overrated movies list. Sorry it took me so long. I am back talking about anime at this point, and I may talk politics, and I may even talk football, even though I hate football, but I feel I'll be forced into that. And like Napoleon Dynamite, it's football season, and that's all everybody wants to talk to me about. Everyone wants to talk about, what's your favorite football team? What's your favorite football team? What's your favorite football team? Who's winning right now? Well, the Saints. I guess I like those guys. Well, actually, I was rooting for, by the way, I have an apology to Wargnet. I was kind of rooting for Minnesota to win. Just so everybody, I'm tired of hearing this. You think Brett Favre's retired? You think Brett Favre's retired? You think Brett Favre's too old? He can play football if he wants to. I don't give a shit how old Brett Favre is. I don't care if he's 50 or 60. I don't care if he goes out there and walker. If he can throw a ball and do a touchdown, he can play football if he wants. There's your effing answer. Everybody quit asking me about whether or not I think Brett Favre should play football. Ugh.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
You know what, Napoleon? You can leave.
You guys are retarded.